The film industry has been remembering the Jurassic Park star Sam Neill, who has died unexpectedly at the age of 78. Richard E. Grant called him an officer and a gentleman in the truest sense. Well, Kate Roger is an entertainment reporter and a film critic as well, and she told me that the news of Sam's passing has been a real shock to people in New Zealand.
The reaction has been, honestly, it's been shock and then this kind of extraordinary. It has been global, as you said, but particularly here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, it's been like we've kind of lost a member of the family. He had that kind of feel about him for all across his TV and movies, obviously, but his interviews and also his phenomenal presence on Instagram when he's basically going live from his farm with his, his pig named after Helena Bonham Carter. He has so accessible. He has such an irrepressible joy and innate Kiwi bloke kindness to him that even if people didn't know him, obviously millions all around the world, but Kiwis who've never met him, they've basically been saying, you know, they feel like they've lost someone that they've known their whole lives. So it's been quite a shock here today.
Yeah, he seemed so baffled by the idea of celebrity, Kate. I know that when I spoke to him, he said, I'm just a New Zealand actor who works in Hollywood from time to time. But tell us a bit more about the man. I mean, you've interviewed him many times. When did you last speak to him?
I last spoke to him just on 3 months ago. We had a 10th anniversary of an absolutely divine film, which I hope you all got to see, called Hunt for the Wilder People, directed by Taika Waititi. And Sam had the pivotal role of Uncle Heck in this film. And it's a beautiful film. And to celebrate its awesomeness, they re-released it into cinemas. So I had the absolute joy and privilege of sitting down with Sam for a good, solid hour-long interview alongside Taika, the director of the film. And it was the first time I'd seen Sam at the end of last year. He was looking a little frail and had got quite a fright. But when I saw him in March, he was still frail, but there was so much of him inside of him. He was still incredibly boisterous. He was full of so much happiness and was always very up for giving Taika quite a bit of jip. And it was just the same old Sam. And to be able to sit there and soak up his presence and the joy of being around him, absolute privilege. And it just accentuated, to be honest, the shock today because he'd beaten cancer, and it was certainly the news that broke just a few hours ago was quite a shock.
Kate, I wrote just a little something when I first came into work for the BBC News Live page, because it was also the Hunt for the Wilder People 10 years ago when I sat down and chatted with Sam, and I met him at the premiere here in London as well, and all the things you're describing about him, I mean, they were so present in the conversation that I had with him too. And then you look at all of the people from right around the world, from so many different sectors, paying tribute to him today. It is remarkable. But can I take a moment to reflect on what he meant to the industry? Because if we go back to the 70s, he was in a film called Sleeping Dogs, which really helped to raise the profile of New Zealand cinema. He went on to be in The Piano, which was such a landmark movie. He was quite pivotal, wasn't he, in terms of his role in cinema in general in New Zealand and what it represented?
100%. And if we look at that relationship with Roger Donaldson, who went on to form the New Zealand Film Commission, he was the director and filmmaker starting out when he made Sleeping Dogs with Sam and plucked Sam out of nowhere. And they had an amazing relationship. And they really, if you think back now, we think about New Zealand and we think about Sir Peter Jackson and Taika and Middle Earth. And we have such a small population, but I feel like we bat above our average when it comes to cinema and storytelling. And Sam is a huge part of that legacy. And if we think back to the day I first encountered him, because my mother had a huge crush on him because she watched Riley, Ace of Spies, Lucy. That was her favourite show. And she thought Sam was just the bee's knees. And he obviously left New Zealand, and we all love it when a Kiwi does well overseas. And off he went. And then all of a sudden, he's in these wonderful films. My Brilliant Career was one of those. And then popping up in Hunt for Red October. And then, of course, the Spielberg just basically took Sam to the stratosphere.
Kate Roger there paying tribute to Sam Neill. We had a live page up and running. It's now closed, but the tributes are all there for you to read, as well as some wonderful comments from Sam Neill. A particularly interesting one about why he named his chicken Meryl Streep. Do log on and take a look. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.